Welcome to Rise Untold, where the stories behind the spotlight come alive. That it's been more than 30 years since Whitney Houston's The Bodyguard soundtrack changed music forever. Yet today, it's still rewriting history. More than a decade after her death, Whitney's voice continues to rise, breaking barriers, setting records, and reminding the world that true legends never fade. In June, the Recording Industry Association of America upgraded the certifications for 10 of Whitney singles, 10 songs, each now carrying a new weight of history. Among them, I Will Always Love You, 11 times platinum. I Want to Dance with Somebody, 8 times platinum. I Have Nothing, 4 times platinum. And How Will I Know, 3 times platinum. These aren't just numbers. They are proof of a voice so powerful, it refuses to be forgotten. But nothing shines brighter than the Bodyguard soundtrack. Released in 1992, it became the best-selling film soundtrack of all time. It has sold more than 45 million copies worldwide. In the United States alone, Billboard confirms it has been certified for 19 million shipments. That makes it not just successful, but legendary. Think about the company it keeps. Only a handful of soundtracks have ever reached diamond certification, selling over 10 million copies. Saturday Night Fever, Dirty Dancing, Purple Rain, Titanic, The Lion King. And yet, The Bodyguard stands above them all, holding the crown as the top certified soundtrack in RIAA history. For Whitney, this is more than an achievement. It's a legacy. She is the only Black artist in history with 3 diamond albums. The Bodyguard, her debut, Whitney Houston, certified 14 times platinum. And her sophomore album, Whitney, 10 times platinum. Only 3 other Black icons, Michael Jackson, Mariah Carey, and Tupac, have achieved 2 diamond albums. Whitney stands alone with 3. Pat Houston, Whitney's sister-in-law and executor of her estate, said it best. Whitney would be delighted to know the impact her music has made globally, that her fans, across generations, have never stopped loving her, that they still carry her songs in their hearts. Because every time someone presses play on I Will Always Love You, it isn't just a song. It's a moment frozen in time. A reminder of love, of loss, of forever. And that's the real magic of Whitney. Numbers and records are impressive, but the truth is deeper. Her voice still makes people cry. It still makes couples fall in love. It still lifts spirits on the darkest days. That is a kind of immortality no chart can measure. 30 years later, The Bodyguard soundtrack isn't slowing down. With streaming platforms, new generations are discovering it for the first time. Teenagers who weren't even alive when Whitney sang those words are now singing along. That's how a legacy lives, not in the past, but in the present. Whitney Houston was called the voice for a reason, and not just because of the notes she could hit, but because of the way she made people feel when she sang them. Hers was a voice that could bring a stadium to silence, that could make millions hold their breath on the very same beat. A voice that didn't just perform, it lived. It breathed. It carried joy, heartbreak, love, and loss all within a single note. Some voices echo for a season. Whitney's? It echoes for generations. Think about it. It's been over a decade since her passing, and yet every time I Will Always Love You plays, the world still stops for just a moment. That iconic opening note, soft, almost fragile, followed by the explosion of power that shakes you to your core. Even if you've heard it 1,000 times, it still feels brand new. That's not just music. That's magic. That's eternity, wrapped in a song. Her life was not without struggle. Whitney battled demons, fame, expectations, and pain that most of us can't imagine. But even through all of it, the gift remained. Her music never wavered. The proof is right in front of us. Every certification, every milestone, every record broken long after her death. It's as if her voice is still alive, still fighting, still soaring above everything that once tried to silence her. Look at the Bodyguard soundtrack. 30 years later, it's not only remembered, it's still growing. It has become more than just an album tied to a film. It's become a cultural monument. The kind of art that doesn't get old, because it speaks a truth that never expires. Love, heartbreak, hope, survival. Songs like I Have Nothing and Run to You Don't Age. They are timeless confessions of the human heart, delivered by a woman who seemed to know exactly how to touch ours. And here's the beautiful irony. Her life may have been cut short, but her voice made sure she'd never be gone. Whitney Houston still sings every day, through our headphones, through wedding dances, through late-night drives, through lonely moments and joyous ones. Somewhere, right now, in some corner of the world, someone is pressing play on one of her songs, and they're feeling what we all feel. They're meeting Whitney. They're hearing the voice. They're connecting with something bigger than time. That's why these certifications and milestones matter. They aren't just numbers on a page. They are living proof that her music is still alive, still moving, still powerful. They are reminders that legends don't fade. They transform. They grow. They rise, even when the person behind them is no longer here. Whitney Houston is eternal because she gave the world more than music. She gave us herself, her vulnerability, her strength, her joy, her pain. Every lyric she sang carried a piece of her soul. And when an artist does that, when they pour every part of themselves into their art, it cannot die. It becomes immortal. The Bodyguard taught us something we didn't even realize we needed to learn. That a voice can outlive time. That a song can outlast pain. That even after the lights go out, the echoes can still reach us, heal us, and remind us of who we are. When we say Whitney never slows down, we mean it. Every new milestone proves that her story isn't finished, that she's still writing chapters, even from beyond. And maybe that's the greatest rise of all. Not fame, not charts, not applause, but the ability to live forever in the hearts of those who listen. Because if Whitney Houston could rise that high, if she could break records 30 years after the world lost her, if she could still command the spotlight without even being here, then maybe there's a message in it for all of us. Maybe it's this, that no matter how hard life gets, no matter how much the world tries to silence you, your true voice, your real legacy, can't be destroyed. It can survive. It can thrive. It can echo beyond your time. The next time you hear Whitney's voice, pause for a moment. Listen closely. You're not just hearing a song that once topped the charts. You're not just listening to a soundtrack tied to a movie from the 90s. What you're hearing is living proof. Proof that greatness cannot be buried. That even when the world changes, when decades pass, when voices come and go, some voices remain untouchable. That Whitney's voice is more than melody. It's a testimony. Every note she sang carried a lifetime of love, of loss, of joy, and of struggle. When she whispered softly into a verse, it felt like she was speaking only to you. When she unleashed her power in a chorus, it felt like the heavens themselves opened. That's not just singing. That's eternity captured in sound. Greatness, real greatness, doesn't die. It echoes. It spreads. It finds new hearts to live in. Whitney's songs are still being discovered by people too young to remember her alive. Teenagers who stumble upon "I Will Always Love You" on a playlist are suddenly frozen, struck by the same awe that stopped the world 30 years ago. That's the definition of forever, and then there's love. Because behind the power of Whitney's voice was always love, sometimes aching, sometimes joyful, sometimes desperate, but always real. That's why it endures. Love doesn't die. It transforms. It keeps finding new ways to remind us we're human. Remember, her voice never slows down, because truth never slows down. And if Whitney Houston could rise through all the storms she faced and remain untouchable even in death, then maybe her story is whispering something to you too, that you can rise, that you can endure, that your voice, once it finds its truth, can last forever.